Hello, everyone. Today I will be discussing assessment and test techniques. According to research, authentic assessments have positive impact on student learning. They foster commitment, motivation, and metacognition. In high school, I had tests for class and standardized tests. Tests for specific subjects were based on what we had learned, while standardized tests were more stressful and had higher stakes. They determined whether we were going to attend summer school, pass to the next grade, or qualify for college. I remember that if we didn't know the answer to a question, we were told to guess C. I don't know the statistics behind this, but it was a common belief. I found a journal article that talked about student teaching and authentic assessment. The basis of the article was to find out if authentic assessment supported student teachers' reflections, and if they did, then how. They found that in most cases, ref- reflective discussions caused students to have self criticism. I found this very interesting because we are our own worst critics. The idea of reflection turned into having the students self criticize. I understand the feeling when you reflect on how the test went. Although this was based on self and peer assessments, the outcome was the students' reflection led them to the theory and practicing of learning skills that they could use in future professions. In professional life, you can have a series of tests for jobs, and if you have self reflected on how well you have done on some authentic assessments, your thoughts can be nerve wracking. I remember I had a certification test for after my job training. I was a nervous wreck, but because I felt like I didn't test well. Although I knew the material, I was scared of answering something incorrectly. This test had a negative impact. I did exceptionally well on the certification, but still had self doubts. My do's and don'ts for tests for me, I like extended responses because it helps with the expansion of your answers and your thoughts. Vague questions, for example, what is this like? Or did you think that was smart? Like there's no content to the question and how it was asked. My don'ts are more specific to multiple choice. I'm not too fond of questions that are confusing and trick questions. I do understand the concept of words, but trick questions can also lead to selecting the wrong answer and failing an assignment. And then another don't is questions that have no intent or concept to what we have learned. And I have had exams that had no relation to the materials that I have studied or learned in class. Also, leading questions where it is leading you to an answer to pick, but it's not the right answer. The Federation of Teachers talks about how teachers can give different tests that match their curriculum, which teachers can better assess the students while learning. Standardized tests, which most of us have taken through our educational journey, use data on different levels and could be done differently or better. The downfalls are that the tests are mixed use by public officials, media, various other public members, which reference the performance of a student without considering student achievement and other instances that those individuals have performed. Proper use of sharing results and data could be beneficial. This information can help with the students and their needs and what they might need in part of their testing. There are many types of test and assessment techniques. If you are taking school tests or a pre assessment for a job or job related certifications, there, um, the, there are ways to measure success are different and have different techniques. For example, if you are doing a personality test, the goal is to tell your personality. Each test has a measure of validity. There are 5 test validity forms: construct, concurrent, predictive, content, and face. Each one measures a different outcome. Construct gauges how dimensions with similar names on specific tests are related. Correlated traits, for example, a personality test, may not be necessarily identical, but they do indicate relatedness in individual makeup. Important traits such as honesty, dependability, sociability are crucial to job performances. Concurrent validity is a useful approach to evaluate successful individuals that are in a company or an industry. By grouping employees in top third, middle third, bottom third categories, assessment scores can be compiled for each group and used to establish job benchmark standards for top third. These standards can be employed. These standards can then be employed to guide hiring, training, and management practices. Predictive validity, and sometimes called criterion validity, happens when hiring people from normal hiring procedures like interviews, reference checks, education experience, etc., and then at the same time have them complete a pre-employment test and then not even utilize any of the data from the hiring decision. 6 months later, for the pre-employment assessment is scored and benchmarked are established, and the people that were currently still employed with the employer is considered successful. The job benchmark standards are then established through the predictive approach. Content validity represents job function testing like typing, mathematics, design, CPA exams, and physical work endurance. Content validity is an appropriate strategy with the job when the job is defined through job analysis and is defined through important behavior tasks and knowledge. The assessment or test is the sample behavior, task, or knowledge drawn from the domain. Exhibits the behavior during the selection process and is truly representative of the behaviors required for the job in question. Alternatively, one of the demonstrations that are selected procedures provide an accurate representation of samples of work product associated with the job. By ensuring that the selection produces accurately assessing the key skills, knowledge, and abilities required for the job, employers can make a more informed and effective hiring decision. Face validity is one of the most simplest forms of validity, but it also has its limitations. It is determined by personality tests and assessment instruments used for hiring purposes, but it's important to remember the face validity only measures what is supposed to be measured accurately on the surface. However, the market is flooded with personality tests that can only have face validity. It is crucial to choose assessment tools that are backed by research and they and have stronger forms of validity. These forms of validity can be used in the workplace, and tests and assessments make valid points in how they are measured and what they are measured for. There are always room for improvements in test and assessment techniques, and depending on the data that is provided, it can be investigated to find a solution for fair testing and assessments. Thank you.